Back as schools slowly begin to reopen across the country, there are still many school districts being bullied into staying closed because of teachers' unions. In fact, a lawsuit was filed this week by parents against the United Teachers of Los Angeles, citing that, quote, instead of following the science, defendant LAUSD has followed the demands of United Teachers of Los Angeles to keep schools closed unless their outlandish and unwarranted political agenda is granted. Goes on to say rather than allow its members to return to class or resume teaching, UTLA and its president, Cecily Myers-Cruz, have held the current well-being and future prospects of LAUSD students hostage. UTLA's demands have included defunding the police, the shutdown of publicly funded, privately operated charter schools, and cash payments. All right, our panelists for today are joining us to react. We welcome former Georgia Congressman Jack Kingston, standing by. Also, Jennifer Kearns, host of All American Radio and contributor to The Hill and The Daily Caller as well. Wow. Okay, so we have watched as schools across the nation have been forced to shut down during COVID and then also stayed shut down because teachers' unions refused to go back. Jack Kingston, finally, we're seeing some lawsuits here. Do you think it's about time?
I absolutely do. I think that it's outrageous that these teachers are not opening up because they want to defund the police, because they want money for homeless shelters, because they want to close down charter schools, because they want a single-payer health system. None of that has to do with children's safety. If their issue was genuine, it would be about COVID and spreading COVID and the dangers. They know the science isn't behind them on that, so they're throwing out all this other stuff, and they're using their leverage, knowing that the weak-kneed Democratic leadership will probably eventually cave to them in one form or the other. And one more time, these children will be the losers.
All right, hang on, panelists. I want to bring in Shella Sadovnik. She is one of the litigation attorneys from the Freedom Foundation. She's working on this case here, and she joins us now. Shella, thank you for taking the time, being with our panelists today. Tell me about this case, the response you've received, and where you see it going.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me. You know, it's been over a year since the children of Los Angeles have been in school, and Los Angeles has one thing in common with all the other places where schools are closed, and that is a nefarious and powerful teachers union. The parents are sick and tired, and now they're fighting back.
Yeah, they are. Tell me about, you know, the initial reaction that we heard from the teachers' unions. Have they responded? Did they say that they're willing to listen to these concerns from parents and students?
So far, regarding our lawsuit, we have not heard anything, but I will tell you that Cecily Myers-Cruz, who is the president of UTLA, the teachers union, has said that the only people complaining about this are white and Middle Eastern parents. I don't know who she's talking about because the school closures disproportionately affect minority communities, and it is certainly not only the white and Middle Eastern parents that are complaining about this.
Of course. When you have virtual learning, it affects all students from all different backgrounds here. Interesting sort of side note story. The White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki was asked on Tuesday about illegal migrant children being allowed to attend in-person school in California, a separate district here, while the other students were still learning virtually. Watch this.
Well, I'm just saying that context is important, and these kids are going back to school for hybrid learning. We, of course, want that to be 5 days a week, and we're confident we'll get there early next month. And I believe they're also on spring break right now. So these teachers would be, I'm not sure if it's volunteer or paid, you'd have to ask the local school district while the kids are on spring break, which I think the context is pretty important.
I believe this was in San Diego here. Jen Kearns, want to go to you on this. You can't blame the parents for being outraged and just overall confused, right? Why are we seeing a double standard here?
Well, this is part and parcel of the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party today. It's one of the most hypocritical parties that the Democrats have had in the past 40 years. Look, this issue of schools predominantly does hurt minority children. Look at LA Unified School District. They have a 76% of their population is Hispanic. Another 10% is African American. So it's ironic that the Democrats always talk about identity politics and helping minorities. In this case, they have kept 90% of that district that is minority out of school for the last year. We also know disproportionately that essential workers are also minorities. So that means these parents in the Los Angeles Unified School District have also been out of the home the majority of the year, leaving these kids to fend for themselves. That's no way to educate kids. And then to give a hall pass to migrant children coming into this country illegally, that they will get school, but the American citizens' kids won't get school, is a real travesty and a real blight on their education record.
Yeah, it must be incredibly frustrating for parents. Can't even imagine. Shella Sadovnik joining us live, bringing us an update on the lawsuit. Come back, share with us an update if you don't mind. Our panelists, Jack and Jennifer, please stick around. We've got a lot more to get to in this hour.